The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Angels and volunteers on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. We'll tell you more about them later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up and we'll get into all sorts of controversies, so stay tuned for that. But between now and then, some great guests, important information coming your way, including a visit with a couple of nurse practitioners, that and much more. But where we want to start is talking about some big events that are coming up. And we have two folks going to tell us all about it. Of course, our good friend David Daggett Schuler is here. David brought along a special guest, Lauren Bruce, Senior Vice President of Development for Ainsley's Angels. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Now, the obvious first question is, what is Ainsley's Angels? How long has it been around? What's the mission?
Of course. So Ainsley's Angels, we're a national nonprofit. We have about 70 ambassadors across the nation, and we believe that everybody deserves to be included. Our vision is inclusion without limits. So we do that through running and endurance events. So here in the Triad, we've been active for about 5 years. We do everything from 5K to marathons, soon triathlons. And what we do essentially is we pair an able-bodied runner with someone who can't compete or complete an event under their own power, and they run a race together to show really that running and inclusion is for everybody in our community.
And then your organization can benefit because aren't there entry fees or something so you can benefit from that?
Absolutely. Our riders never pay because, again, we want everyone to be included. So they never pay for a race entry. They never pay to use our special wheelchairs. They just come out, they have fun, they make new friends and family.
All right. Now, David, the Smiley Triathlon Festival is coming up July 29th and 30th. There's a kids triathlon and a sprint race. So let's start with the first. Let's talk about the sprint race. What is that all about?
So it's a triathlon weekend. Saturday morning, the 29th, is the kids race. Great introduction to the sport of triathlon in a fun, safe environment. We give everybody a championship experience and a championship finish at the finish line.
And Lauren said about pairing people up. So give me an example of what the pairing might be.
So, you guys are going to make me cry. She always does. But so for the first time, we have an Ainsley's Angels competitor in the Smiley Triathlon.
Right.
It's their first, Ainsley's Angels of the Triad, first experiment with a triathlon.
Sure is.
So we have Gabe, who has Down syndrome and is the most lovable young guy you've ever met in your life. He gets me every time, too. And we have a pre-Olympic swimmer pulling him in a raft in the pool.
Wow.
We have a two-time Olympian, 22-time national champion cyclist, Jamie Carney, coming in from out of town to pull him on the bike. And then Lauren's going to be pushing Gabe on the run, and we're going to have quite a celebration at that finish line.
Real teamwork on that to be so inclusive. Everybody's involved to help out. Now, the week before this festival is actually, I want to get a plug in for Beat the Heat 5K. That's a different location. I'll give that information in just a second. But on the Beat the Heat 5K, do you have to be in great shape, a great athlete to participate?
No, we have usually around 1,000 competitors for Beat the Heat. I'm the MC for that event. Ainsley's Angels is the charity partner for that event.
Great.
And there's an elite field that is the best of the best. In fact, we just announced Abby Cooper, 2016 Olympian, will be there running the 5K that evening. But we also have lots of groups that walk. We start the walkers early, so you can be any level. It's a fun evening of fun and fitness, healthy fun for everyone.
Now, not to embarrass David, but Lauren, why is it so important that folks like Daggett Schuler get involved and the community get involved?
Absolutely. So like I mentioned, we're a nonprofit. We're completely volunteer run, and there's a place for everybody. And that's really what we're out there sharing with our community right now is you don't have to be an elite runner. You don't have to be a fast runner. You want to be able to give back. That's really what we're all about. So partnerships with David, partnerships with Twin City Track Club, Beat the Heat, they're so important because they help us spread that.
All right, before time runs out, I want to mention this on screen, Beat the Heat 5K, Saturday, July 22nd at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. You can go to runsignup.com triadtoday.com for information. The Kids for Kids Triathlon, that's Saturday, July 29th, 8 a.m. at the Clemens West Pool. Kids for Kids Triathlon.com is that information. All this is on screen. Smiley Sprint, of course, Sunday, July 30th at Clemens West Pool. Smiley Sprint, TRI for try.com. And Ainsley'sAngels.org is up on screen as well. If you want to check out more information about them, support them, make a donation. And if you'd ever need the services of David Daggett and his partner Griff Schuler, 724-1234, DaggettSchulerLaw.com is up on screen. To both of you for all you do to helping make the community more inclusive, thanks for everything.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, good job. We'll be right back.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Back now on Triad Today. So glad to welcome this first-time visitor, not just to Triad Today, but so glad she came over from Liberia to be a citizen, and she's just doing great things in her capacity at True Light Federal Credit Union. I'm talking about Precious McLeod. She's Senior Vice President of Diversity and Social Responsibility there. Welcome.
Thank you, Jim. I'm happy to be here.
Before we get to the main topic at hand and talk about diversity and social responsibility, very quickly, people sometimes get confused. They say, oh, True Light Federal Credit Union, that's a bank, right?
Well, credit unions, we are nonprofits, and also we are owned by our members. So everything we do, we put our members first, and that's what makes credit unions so unique and special.
It's member-based. I think that's great. Now, in a recent survey by Forbes, 76% of consumers said that they would discontinue relationships with banks and institutions who treated employees, communities, or the environment poorly. Does that surprise you?
It does not surprise me at all. When you really think about what your members need, they want to make sure that they're working with a financial institution that looks out for their best interests. Why not, right? It's not just about the financial transaction. Treat me well, make sure that you really understand what my needs are, and go above and beyond to meet them. That's what we do at credit unions.
Not just put up a good front, but really, 24/7, living it.
Absolutely.
Corporate social responsibility. Now, you sent me an email. I think Marcus, you sent me an email about corporate social responsibility, CSR. What does that mean?
Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, it's really a broad term that can take on many forms depending on the organization or the industry. For True Light, we believe that social responsibility is a part of our DNA, like we just talked about. You've been with us a long time, Jim, so you know that credit unions were founded on the premise of people helping people. So for us, we have to be mindful of how our business decisions impact the environment, how we champion the needs of our employees, and even the intentionality that we demonstrate with our philanthropy. All of these are strong reasons that support our why for social responsibility.
Yeah, and you've already partially answered this, but I'm wondering about the pillars of corporate social responsibility, and how would you describe those?
Awesome. So there are 5. You ready? First is our True Light.
What do you mean, am I ready? Like I can't remember 5 things, which you're right, I can't. So go ahead.
All right,
go
so
ahead.
the first is our True Light Foundation. Second would be community engagement. Third would be financial wellness and education. Fourth, one of my favorites, is environmental stewardship and sustainability. And last is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And those are in no particular order.
That's right. Now, why do you think True Light focuses so much on corporate social responsibility?
We focus on this, Jim. Really, it's just the right thing to do. For us, CSR allows us to go beyond banking, like we were just talking about with credit unions, and make business personal for our members, our employees, and the communities that we serve. It's very important that we do that.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing. I admire what you're doing, and appreciate you being here. Before we lose time, I want to mention TrueLightFCU.org is the website that I'm sure Precious wants you to check out. because there's so many things you can learn about and get help with, and going through the portals of that website. Will you come back and see us sometime?
Absolutely. You call and I'll be right here.
I will call, and but I can't remember but 5 things at one time. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Need help buying food? Everyone needs help sometimes. Food Nutrition Services may be able to help you buy food and free up your money for other expenses, such as utilities and medicine. To receive F&S assistance, households must meet income limits. You may be able to get assistance even if you own a home, car, land, property, or have a retirement plan or money in the bank. Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina team members can help you with the application process over the phone. To receive help or if you have any questions, call 336-422-7758.
Back now on Triad Today, and always glad we can spend a few minutes with some of the good folks from Northern Regional Hospital. And this time, we're going to focus on the nurse practitioners, and we happen to have 2 of them with us right now. And we welcome to the program Ashley Bryant and Samantha Kuntz, both, as I said, family nurse practitioners at Northern Family Medicine, part of the Northern Regional Hospital family. Good to see you, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Ashley, let me start with you. You're both relatively new providers, although you've worked in the business in ICU and other things for many years. But as far as going into a private practice as a nurse practitioner, so let's learn something about you. Where were you born, and why did you decide to go into healthcare in general?
Okay, born and raised in Mount Airy, North Carolina. So lived there my entire life. My grandmother was a nurse. My mother works in the laboratory. So healthcare was kind of all that I knew growing up.
They were your role models,
so,
right?
Absolutely. From a young age, I knew that I wanted to go into nursing.
Right. Now, what is your role? And I'll ask Samantha the same thing. But what kind of role do you play as a nurse practitioner in a practice like Northern Family Medicine?
So patients come in. I act as their primary provider. See anyone from sick visits to managing chronic illnesses. We do small procedures in the office. So we do injections, joint injections, replace IV fluids.
Doing a lot of things that people used to, when people in the old days, and I say that because I'm 100 years old, but you go in and it had to be a doctor.
Right.
And now you guys open up a whole...
So we're advanced practice practitioners, providers. So we do essentially the same things as physicians do. So we're able to diagnose and treat, prescribe medications, order testing.
Yeah, Samantha, you're nodding,
Yes.
in agreement. You really like this stuff, don't you?
I do. I love it. Yes.
Making the transition from, like, the 2 of you working in ICU, which is a very special thing, and God love you, but now in a different role. Why do you like that too? I mean, in working with people.
I love it. I mean, I started out in ICU at Northern Regional Hospital. I was there for 8 years in critical care. I realized that I love taking care of people, but I wanted to be on the other side of things. So I went back to school and now focusing more on preventative care.
Yeah, prevention and treatment, that kind of thing. So let me back up and circle around to another question I had asked Ashley, but do it for you. Where were you born, and why did you decide you wanted to get into the healthcare field in general?
So I was born in Surrey County, Mount Airy, born and raised there. I did not know that I wanted to be a nurse, so that is different from Ashley. I went to Lenoir University, initially majoring in biology. And I had several friends that transitioned into the nursing program there, and they kind of persuaded me. So, and I'm so glad that they did. So, started there, and then went back to school and got my master's at Western Carolina University.
Right. And now Ashley's your role model, is that right? No,
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Ashley, I want both of you to give us a couple of health tips. Let's start with you, Ashley, on why it's important to control your blood pressure, whether it has to do with diabetes, cholesterol, whatever. Why are those things important?
Okay. So controlling the blood pressure is important because over time, high blood pressure is going to affect all the vessels, vasculature in the body. So this could lead to heart damage, kidney damage. When you talk about diabetes, you have damage with the vasculature in your legs. People deal with neuropathy. eye damage and things like that. So over time, you want to keep that blood pressure controlled so that you don't have things like heart attack and stroke and heart failure.
Absolutely, and that's why you always go in the doctor's office, they give you blood pressure. We have a few seconds left. Now, it's kind of a similar question. Why is it important for people to come in for an annual wellness check?
Annual wellness exams are very important. It's a time that we can focus on preventative care with our patients. We can go over vital signs with them, make sure their heart rate, blood pressure is in check. We can order routine labs, depending on their age, assess risk factors, and order appropriate screenings such as mammograms, colonoscopies, make sure they've had their pap smears.
Yeah, y'all are just full service, and you do such a great job of helping people. I'm just very proud of both of you for what you've done. Up on screen, don't want to forget to mention choosenorthern.org is a general website for the hospital that you can check out. It'll send you to all different portals to learn about these things. Will the two of you come back? We can talk about more things sometime.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back after this.
Fly local, fly easy, fly PTI.
Are you looking to jumpstart your future in the fast-paced, rapidly growing food industry? In Second Harvest Food Bank's Providence Culinary Training Program, you'll learn the craft and art of cooking, plus business and management skills, science and nutrition, and essential life skills. Providence Culinary Training has helped hundreds of individuals just like you launch successful culinary careers. There's no reason to wait to turn your passion for food into an exciting career. Check out the upcoming class schedule on our website at providencews.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, and always glad when this gentleman can stop by, our good buddy Jimmy Fleith, who's Director of Government Community Relations for Duke Energy. And Jimmy brought a special guest with him today. Michael Lanning is the plant manager at the Blues Creek Steam Station. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Jimmy, I'm going to start with you. Now, you and I've talked before, and Hank's been here, we talked about what a great job that the staff and all the employees at Duke Energy do to keep the power on. And it's true, you'll do great jobs behind the scenes. But also behind the scenes, they're doing a lot for the community, your employees are, and that's why we want to talk about today. And so how does that, tell me about that, the community involvement, and how it ties into Michael.
Sure, great, thanks, Jim. Yeah, our employees do a fantastic job keeping the plant running, which is a critical asset for Duke Energy for our fleet of generation plants, but they also do a lot in the community, especially for Stokes County, and recently had a golf tournament they've been doing for many years. It raised a lot of money for the Stokes County United Fund. They've got a lot of other projects, and I thought, it's just a great opportunity. Let's highlight those employees and recognize what they're doing. So I invited Michael to come and tell us a little bit more.
Now, Michael, how many years have y'all been doing this golf tournament?
We've been doing the golf tournament for 26 years.
And you raise money, and you get a lot of participation, a lot of golfers. And do you have to be a golf pro to participate in these things?
You do not. It's all types of golfers, and we invite our contract partners to play with us as well.
Oh yeah.
So those folks play with the employees of the Blues Creek plant.
At the plant, yeah. And now there are other types of projects too, other than just the golf tournament. But y'all do some other stuff too, right?
We do. We do volunteer work at local elementary schools. So our last volunteer opportunity was at Walnut Cove Elementary School. We tore down their playground. They had an old playground, 20, 30 years old, and they were putting a new playground in. So we went in, tore the playground down, regraded the area for the new playground, and that's being assembled now.
And that was all volunteer stuff that you did?
All volunteer, from employees, from mechanics at the plant to supervisors to management, and all involved.
Well, let me put you on the spot. I mean, how many employees are we talking about that do these kind of projects?
Approximately 60 employees participate in projects throughout the year. We have 135 employees at the station full-time, so we have over half of our employees involved with community volunteer.
And tell me again, now you mentioned a couple of examples. Give me some names of the jobs that people do, just sort of a variety of jobs.
So some other things that we do is we donate to our fan drive for Stokes County for social services. So we donate approximately 30 fans every year for social services there. We donate toys to Toys for Tots. We also do the angel tree for children during Christmas time, so we get heavily involved with that.
And everybody that works for you at every level is getting involved in this. What kind of feedback do you get from the employees after they volunteered, after you've done a project or a golf tournament or helping the kids at school or whatever? Do you get a sense of what kind of feedback from these folks?
Big sense of pride. We love our community. We love Stokes County. We love being involved in Stokes County. All the employees at Blues Creek really cherish their opportunities to volunteer in the community and make community better. So it's a positive for the community and a positive for our employees as well.
I just think that's great. And you sort of set this up so, except for the playground thing, which was a one-time thing, I understand that, but golf tournaments and other things, you sort of keep a lot of these things going. They're annually, right?
That's correct. Year after year, we typically donate to the same charity, and we do the same golf tournament and clay shoot.
These, Jimmy, we wrap up here for a few seconds left. These volunteers really making a difference, aren't they?
Yeah, they really do. You know, it's great that the company, Duke Energy, encourages our employees. We've got a big volunteer program. We match contributions that the employee does through the foundation. So it's something that's really good for the community. It's good for employees, and just glad to be a part of it.
Thanks. See, I didn't realize this. I learned something about what was going on. I think it's great what you guys are doing. Up on screen, duke-energy.com is the main website, which I hope you'll check out. Jimmy, it's good to see you again. Look forward to seeing you again. And Michael, thanks for all you and your staff do.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
We'll be right back after this.
A brighter energy future starts today, and we're ready. We're leading the clean energy transition, cutting carbon emissions even while improving reliability, adding more renewables like solar and wind, all while managing our costs to help keep energy affordable for everyone. We're Duke Energy, and we're building a smarter energy future for you.
Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Senior Botanical Garden. Come out and visit the garden. It is beautiful. Go to the website, come out here. It's amazing. And so are these three guys. On my right, with the political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. We've held David Daggett over from a previous segment. Glad he could do that. Keith Granberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Guys, let's start. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn is now banning or limiting people from city council meetings who have been continually disruptive. Are you okay with a ban or limitation like that, or is it a violation of freedom of speech? Ogie.
Actually, in this occasion, I am. There's some idiots down there that are purposely disrupting things.
And you can't just let them keep coming in. David, what do you think? Limit or ban? Or?
People think free speech means anything goes. That's not what it means. In a place like this, there's proper rules of decorum. There's a time and a place. I'm all in favor of banning it.
Keith, what do you think?
I'm not in favor of that. I mean, we have free speech. People have issues that they want to bring to the front, and they should not be banned from doing that.
All right. Speaking of Greensboro, some city leaders want to impose a special 1% tax on prepared foods and beverages that are served to you in restaurants. They say it could net the city an additional $17 million per year, some of which would come from people who eat in Greensboro but live outside of Guilford County, for example. Now, they do this in Mecklenburg County. Guys, are you okay with the prepared food tax? Ogie.
It'll never work, Jim. We tried that years ago when we were trying to bring a Major League Baseball team here. It was going to pay for the stadium, and it got defeated overwhelmingly, like 2-1. And I don't mind it myself. It's for a good cause. I like where the money's going, but it's not going to pass.
David, a tax on prepared food.
If they can do it and pass it, fine. It'll come before the city council, and if you have proper decorum, you can go. You can go challenge it or support it.
Keith can go in there and protest.
You don't need proper decorum. You need somebody to protest it if it doesn't make sense to the community.
Extra tax on prepared food.
It's not going to work.
You don't want it.
It's not going to work. I want it, but it's not going to.
According to a new government survey, pedestrian deaths have reached a 41-year high, mainly due to reckless drivers. Guys, A, does this surprise you? And B, would you like to see stiffer penalties for reckless driving in general? Ogie.
I don't really know, Jim. I'll defer to the counselor here. I don't even know what the penalty for reckless driving is.
David, it's up at an all-time high, 41%.
I would say yes and yes. And my yes and yes is yes, there needs to be penalties for distracted drivers that hit pedestrians, but we've also lagged behind on our infrastructure for pedestrians in the way our society's evolved. And we need to address it from that point of view also. So for example, bicycles are lots of times listed as pedestrians. There's places around Greensboro and Winston-Salem where a bicycle lane goes and it just ends. It doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
That's part of the problem. We need to address infrastructure issues as well.
Keith, stiffer penalties for drivers who drive reckless?
Yeah, reckless driver, absolutely. And there are a lot of people now who are doing drag racing on public places. So reckless driving, there absolutely needs to be stiffer penalties.
That is just stupid. New York City, the drag racing is stupid, not what you said is stupid.
Nothing I say is ever stupid.
New York City recently passed a new regulation that requires K through 12 teachers to let their students have 3 minutes a day of quote unquote mindful breathing. City officials say it will help keep students calm. Guys, would you like to see North Carolina require their teachers to give students mindful breathing breaks? Ogie.
I heard that little sarcasm, mindful breathing in there, Jim.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
You do?
I really do.
You like
I'm not kidding one bit.
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
David, mindful breathing.
I agree with Yogi, but for a different reason. Clearly, that age group has suffered mental stress and strain, particularly coming out of the COVID period. I think that's what this is supposed to address. And if the science supports that and it works, absolutely.
Keith.
I think it should be reversed. I think those teachers need mindful breathing to deal with the kids all day. I think they should at least give them about 5 or 10 minutes of mindful breathing.
Well, there's some students at NC State University who want to change our state flag. They say that it needs to be redesigned. We don't need the NC on there. We need a symbol like South Carolina has the palmetto tree. Would you like to see the flag redesigned? Quickly, Ogie.
No, it's fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
David, you want a new flag?
No, but I love that the students come up with these crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And,
well, they had a mindful breathing session, and then they came up with a...
As long as they do it with proper decorum.
The proper decorum. You want to see a new flag?
I think it's good to always have something new and exciting. Why not?
What do you want on it? What symbol would we have?
NC.
Well, they don't want the NC.
Well, who doesn't want the NC?
The kids want the redesign. They want an image, like tobacco or...
That's fine. Let's change it. I mean, you know what? Keep it the same. The world evolves.
You're disruptive.
We don't have proper decorum here.
All right, finally.
We need to be disruptive.
Finally, a maid in Florida makes $3,000 per day in fees and tips because she cleans the houses topless. There's no hanky-panky involved, just topless cleaning. Guys, have you ever hired a topless maid, or would you hire a topless maid? Ogie.
No, but I'm aware of it, and I think I know a girl who did that.
You think you know somebody who did it?
I think I did.
David, would you?
I believe in proper decorum, and I don't even think I can venture into the topic of this question.
Keith,
I think you'd be quite disruptive.
Would you hire a topless maid, Keith?
No, I would not hire a topless maid. That is not what she's there for.
Don't go to any of their houses. They're extremely dirty. Their houses are dirty and they need cleaning. Well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. The EPA just announced that the bananas you buy at the grocery store are actually radioactive, kind of like x-rays. That's okay, I don't mind eating the x-rayed bananas, but they charge a copay when you get to the checkout counter. See, the bananas are x-rayed and they...
Yeah, right.
I might as well go to...
You need to be disruptive on that joke. That was a disruptive joke.
City Council here. For all of us here at City Council, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.